This is the story of how one institution shaped a nation's conscience, and how its walls still echo with the lives it once contained. In the heart of Nottinghamshire stands a building that changed the way Britain treated its poor. Southwell Workhouse built not in response to reform, but as its blueprint became the model for a system that would define Victorian welfare. Set on the edge of the market town of Southwell, the workhouse rises from the landscape like a monument to a bygone age. Its red brick facade is plain, almost severe. No ornament, no indulgence. Just function, just order. The grounds are enclosed by high walls, not to imprison, but to separate. To remind those within and those without that this was not a place of comfort. It was a place of last resort. Before the workhouse, Southwell's poor relied on ad hoc parish charity. Volunteers, often landowners or philanthropists, offered basic care, but this was always under tight budgets and the fear of encouraging dependency. Relief was cautious, communal, and deeply moralistic. It was when in 1824, before the Poor Law was rewritten, that a quiet revolution began in Southwell. Reverend John Thomas Betcher, a magistrate and reformer, designed a building that would become the blueprint for a new kind of social care. The Southwell Workhouse was the prototype. Its rigid structure, separation of families, and emphasis on labor reflected Betcher's belief that poverty should be relieved but never encouraged. 10 years later, this philosophy became law. The new Poor Law and Southwell's influence at 1834 Poor Law Amendment Act grouped parishes into unions. Each building standardized workhouses, but Southwell had already done it. Its design segregated wings, central supervision, and moral discipline became the national template. The shift moved power from local vestries to boards of guardians, institutionalizing welfare with efficiency and restraint. This abolished outdoor relief for the able-bodied poor and mandated that help be given only within workhouses. Their purpose by design was to be less desirable than the lowest standard of living outside a principle known as less eligibility. This became a model for over 600 workhouses across England and Wales. Here, paupers were housed, fed, and put to work. Children received basic schooling, but the cost of dignity was high. Families were split, and the stigma of entering the workhouse was profound. Dormitories. Prior to the Local Government Act of 1929, when conditions improved, these rooms were stark and utilitarian. The rooms were shared and featured wooden bedsteads, straw mattresses, and minimal blankets, continuing the theme of being less desirable and therefore only for the most desperate in need. Architectural features and evolution. Southwell's layout prioritized segregation, separate zones for men, women, children, and the infirm. Family bonds were severed. Mothers saw young children briefly, fathers rarely at all. Supervision. A central hub allowed staff to monitor multiple areas. Utility. Functional blocks with minimal ornamentation isolation. High walls enclosed yards, reinforcing stigma and control. Education and medical care. Children received basic education, reading, writing, and arithmetic, but it was often secondary to labor. Infirmary care existed but was overcrowded and poorly staffed. It was only in the late Victorian era that reforms improved medical standards and professionalized nursing, which was led by figures like Florence Nightingale. Over time, piecemeal additions dormitories, infirmaries, service buildings responded to rising numbers and shifting needs. By the late 19th century, reforms mandated better hygiene, ventilation, and care. Diet and living conditions meals were monotonous: gruel, bread, broth, boiled beef, and occasional cheese. Fires were extinguished early, regardless of season. Comfort was deliberately withheld. Silence was enforced during meals and work. Rule breaking led to punishment, solitary confinement, ration cuts, or public reprimand. The system aimed to reform through separation and surveillance. Crisis and community response. Economic slumps, like the 1819 Depression and 1836 hosiery collapse, swelled admissions. Southwell, though better prepared than most, still relied on emergency measures. Volunteers raised public funds to supplement relief, revealing the tension between institutional control and communal compassion. Scandal and reform. National scandals, like Andover, exposed systemic cruelty. Locally, incidents such as a plumber's death and overcrowded infirmaries drew scrutiny. The 1894 British Medical Journal report urged calls for better care, leading to gradual improvements in staffing and facilities. The decline and eventual closure of Southwell Workhouse mirrored the fate of similar institutions across England, but with a legacy that set it apart. By 1913, official terminology began to shift. Workhouses were rebranded as poor law institutions, reflecting a softening of philosophy as well as nomenclature. During World War I, Southwell, like many others, adapted to national needs, serving as a hospital or providing quarters for soldiers and prisoners of war. Major legislative reforms in the 1920s and 1930s accelerated the transformation. The Local Government Act of 1929 abolished the boards of guardians and transferred responsibility for poor relief to local authorities. In 1930, workhouses were formally abolished as institutions, though many, including Southwell, continued operating under new titles. Now known as public assistance institutions, they cared primarily for the elderly, the infirm, unmarried mothers, and vagrants. In 1948, the National Assistance Act was introduced, which officially ended the poor law system. It established a new framework of state-funded welfare, replacing means-tested relief with universal social support. This act laid the foundation for the modern welfare state, including the creation of the NHS and social security benefits. Southwell Workhouse, known later as Great House, continued to function in various care capacities into the 1950s and early 1960s. As institutional care models evolved, the building was eventually decommissioned. Recognizing its historical significance as the prototype for the 1834 poor law system, efforts were made to preserve it. In 1997, the National Trust acquired the site. After extensive restoration and interpretation work, it opened to the public in 2002. Today, Southwell Workhouse is the best preserved example of its kind in England, a rare survivor that allows visitors to explore the architecture, routines, and ideologies that shaped Victorian welfare. Southwell's building, however, was never just another facility. Its historical significance as the prototype for the entire Union workhouse system ensured its preservation. Today, under the stewardship of the National Trust, Southwell Workhouse stands as a rare survivor, a place where visitors can walk the corridors of reform, discipline, and resilience. It offers not just a glimpse into Victorian welfare, but a deeper reflection on how society has grappled with poverty, dignity, and care. Southwell Workhouse began as an experiment, a place where poverty was measured, managed, and morally judged. But its legacy is more than bricks and boundaries. It's a mirror to the past, a lesson in how we care, and a reminder that dignity must never be rationed. Today, its corridors invite reflection not just on what was, but on what should never be again. This brings us to the end of our delve into the past look of the workhouse system, and specifically that of Southwell in Nottinghamshire. Share views by dropping a comment and like the video if you enjoyed it. Maybe consider subscribing to the channel if you would like to see more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notifications when new videos come out. And a big thanks for watching.